Imagine waking up to Ariana Grande hinting that she might actually retire from pop music after her 2026 tour. Yeah, that's the shockwave the internet felt this week. On Amy Poehler's Good Hang podcast, Ariana casually dropped the phrase, "one last hurrah," and fans instantly spiraled into panic mode. What does that even mean? Is she stepping away for a little break? Or are we looking at the end of an era? The moment she said it, you could almost hear the collective gasp of millions who grew up with her music. But Ariana kept things mysterious, saying she didn't want to make any definitive statements. Still, when one of the biggest pop stars on the planet starts talking like this, you know something is shifting behind the scenes. And honestly, the timing couldn't be more intense, because Ariana's life, career, and even her relationship with Ethan Slater have all been under a magnifying glass lately. Ariana explained that she's entering a new phase of her life, one where she finally feels connected to herself again. She admitted she spent years doing only pop music, even though she grew up obsessed with musical theater and comedy. It feels like she's rediscovering the parts of herself she left behind while climbing the charts. And with Wicked for Good releasing this week, she's been diving deeper into acting than ever before. It's like she's chasing whatever brings her peace, even if that means fewer arena tours and more film sets. You can feel how genuinely relieved she sounds, talking about exploring new creative paths. But for fans, this new direction is bittersweet. Sure, we want her to be happy, but the idea of Ariana taking a long time away from performing is a tough pill to swallow. Yet, there's something exciting about watching her step into the unknown, especially when you can tell she's following what feels right instead of what's expected. And then comes the Eternal Sunshine Tour, the project she calls her small tour. But let's be honest, anything Ariana touches is never truly small. Announced back in August, the tour marks a return to the stage after nearly 6 years. Imagine going from the explosive Sweetener World Tour in 2019 to absolute silence, and then suddenly, Ariana is back, but potentially for the last time. Fans immediately started grabbing tickets like it was the last oxygen tank on the planet. The tour supports her 2024 album, Eternal Sunshine, which already became a fan favorite. And with the deluxe version dropping in 2025, the anticipation is huge. It feels like Ariana wants this tour to be intimate, meaningful, and emotionally satisfying. Not just a performance, but a proper goodbye. For now, at least. It's dramatic, it's poetic, and honestly, it fits the Eternal Sunshine era perfectly. But of course, you can't talk about Ariana without hearing whispers about her personal life, especially her relationship with Ethan Slater. Breakup rumors were everywhere the moment fans noticed the two weren't appearing together during early Wicked promotions. Online detectives started connecting dots that didn't exist, spinning every little detail into a crisis. But then the London premiere happened. Ariana and Ethan showed up side by side, smiling, posing with cast members, looking very much like a couple that couldn't care less about gossip. Ariana even posted photos from the premiere with a simple caption, "Thank you, London." Subtle, classy, and effective. People magazine confirmed they're the real deal. And honestly, the chemistry shows. Their relationship has grown quietly, away from the chaos, and maybe that's the secret to why it works. Their romance hasn't been loud or flashy, and that's exactly how they seem to like it. Ariana talked recently about not letting other people's projections affect her anymore. She's learned to ignore things that aren't hers to carry, and that's a powerful shift for someone who has lived under non-stop scrutiny. Ethan, meanwhile, has been focused on his theater career, preparing to play Marcel Marceau in an off-Broadway production. They're both busy, both ambitious, and both trying to keep things grounded. When you look back at their 2-year timeline, from meeting on the Wicked set in late 2022 to dating publicly in 2023, it makes sense why they prefer privacy now. They've already dealt with enough noise. Fans forget that these two went through divorces, sudden fame spikes, and internet storms. Holding on to some peace probably feels like survival. But the internet loves drama, and the early promotional events for Wicked for Good added fuel to the rumors. Ariana and Ethan weren't posing together, and people immediately assumed the worst. Never mind that cast members frequently do separate photo ops. Never mind that schedules sometimes don't line up. The narrative was set, and social media ran with it. But that's what made their London appearance such a moment. Not overly romantic, not theatrical, just present. It was their way of saying, "We're fine," without needing to give a speech. And let's be real, it shut down the speculation instantly. Their families were there too, which made everything feel grounded and sincere. Ariana's parents, her brother, and close friends showed up to support her, which says a lot about the stability happening behind the scenes. With Wicked for Good releasing on November 21st, Ariana's been in full promo mode, juggling interviews, appearances, and rehearsals for her upcoming tour. Meanwhile, Ethan's gearing up for theater roles that demand intense preparation. People close to them have said they're incredibly supportive of one another's careers. And honestly, the timing of everything proves it. They're not glued to each other at events because they're both working nonstop. It's not distance, it's discipline. And when you're navigating two high-pressure careers, you learn fast that stability doesn't always look like constant togetherness. Ariana's decision to step back from pop music might even give them more breathing room in the long run. It's a new chapter for her, and Ethan seems like someone who understands the creative process deeply. What's really fascinating is how Ariana's career shift changes everything, including her artistry. She's not running away from pop music. She's expanding beyond it. After years of touring, performing, and living in the spotlight, she now seems drawn to storytelling, acting, and quieter forms of expression. Wicked has been a huge turning point. Playing Glinda isn't just another role. It's a dream she's had since childhood. And now that she's tasted this side of the industry, she might not want to rush back to an intensive pop cycle again. That's why the Eternal Sunshine Tour feels symbolic, almost like she's closing one door gently while opening another. Fans may be emotional, but if you listen closely, Ariana sounds more confident, more present, and more truthful than she has in years. Still, it raises the big question everyone wants answered. What happens after Wicked and the 2026 tour? Ariana hasn't shared any concrete plans, which adds to the mystique. But we do know she's filming Focker-in-Law with Ben Stiller and exploring more acting opportunities. Ethan has his off-Broadway show coming up. Their schedules are packed, but they're navigating it like two people who genuinely understand each other's ambitions. It's possible Ariana might take a long break from music, dive deeper into film, or even experiment with theater again. She's leaving the door open, and maybe that's intentional. When you've been doing something as demanding as pop for over a decade, taking time to breathe isn't a loss. It's evolution. So will Ariana and Ethan make it long-term? Honestly, no one can predict the future. But what we do know is this: they've survived the rumors, the scrutiny, the schedules, and the pressure. That alone says a lot. Ariana's stepping into a new era. Ethan is grounding himself in theater, and they seem to support each other in ways that matter more than public photos ever could. As for the Eternal Sunshine Tour, it might be her last hurrah for a while, but it doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a transition, one that could bring out the most authentic version of Ariana Grande we've ever seen. Whether she returns to pop sooner or later, the world will be waiting. And maybe that mystery is exactly what makes this moment so captivating.